Be men, my friends, and put courage in your hearts. In the battle's fury, think proudly of your honour in each other's eyes. When men have pride, more are saved than killed. This wartime pep talk from Agamemnon, leader of the Achaean forces, in Book 5 of the Iliad, summarises why the vast majority of the Greek soldiers would have been fighting. Not for a Spartan prince's bride, but for honour in the eyes of those who survived him. Retrospectively, with a bird's eye view of the events of the Trojan War, it is down to the contemporary audience to determine whether the concept of heroism played any real part in the events of the Iliad. Prior to any discussion of heroism, we must first establish what the hero is. Oxford Dictionary defines a hero as a person, typically a man, who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. M.I. Finley noted that heroes are ubiquitous, of course. There are always men called heroes, and that is misleading, for the identity conceals a staggering diversity of substance. Despite our reading of the poem coming from a stance influenced by feminist movements, we must remember that at the time of composure, women were simply unable to achieve the prestigious title of hero, and thus must be excluded in any discussion of Homeric heroism. Kleos is defined as one's reputation lasting beyond death, and could well be argued as being one of the driving forces of the epic. There are various ways to achieve Kleos, but in a wartime environment, completing daring acts and proving heroic status are what we are interested in. Alongside Kleos, ancient heroes are commonly depicted as fighting for an external reason, love for your country and family being popular choices. Whether it is a reason for fighting or not, a love for your country and family are both a necessity for a Homeric hero. While the attributes of pity and mercy were valued in the society of the epic, Homeric heroes did not show mercy to opponents. Rather, these qualities were reserved for the aftermath in the treatment of the body and the funeral rites. In his book, The Classical Epic, Jenkins suggests that scholars attempt to modernise Homer's ethics and impose modern philosophy on his works. They try to press that a hero's concern was also for cooperative values, including duty and loyalty, which goes directly against the truth in many cases found in the Iliad. Now that we've discussed what makes a Homeric hero, we must now determine whether the characters found in the Iliad can be deemed as such. Although not covered in our key books of the poem, Sarpedon is an interesting character to briefly discuss on regarding heroism in the Iliad. Jenkins claims that though he is on the Trojan side, he does not fight for kin or city, he just fights. He is there simply to act as a hero should. Sarpedon, being king of Lycia, was not fighting for riches or worldly possessions, but so, among the heavy-armoured Lycians, they would say, they had strength too and courage. Hector, the prince and protector of Troy, exhibits many of the qualities expected of a hero. He fights both for his family, specifically his wife and son, and his city. However, it could be argued that Hector selfishly values his own glory above the safety of Troy. Otherwise, surely he would have retreated behind the city walls, where he would have likely been better able to defend Troy. In fact, Hector confirms this by explaining how he stays to fight Achilles because of fear of ridicule and condemnation from lesser men. As Jenkins puts it, his reason for facing Achilles is a question of what people will say, not what is in their interest. Finally, the most fearsome Greek soldier must be considered. Was Achilles a Homeric hero or an emotional savage? He initially refrains from the fighting as does not want to be seen taking orders from a lesser man, that man being Agamemnon. He rejoins the fighting to avenge someone of brotherly importance to him, Patroclus. However, he makes it obvious that he is merely apathetic to the victory of the Achaeans or the cause of the war. Therefore, he can't be argued as fighting out of a love for his country. Achilles shows neither pity nor mercy to Hector, even in the aftermath of his death, as was expected for a Homeric hero. He begrudgingly shows pity for Priam by releasing the body of his son. But is this action too little too late? His pursuit of Kleos and the heroic title largely drive Achilles' behaviour. He knows that he will die in glory and eternal fame if he kills Hector. Ultimately, the objective of these men in the pursuit of Kleos and the title of the hero was for their name to live beyond them.
Despite being works of fiction, the fact that we still discuss their feats and exploits must at least count for something.